you got to respect each other's boundaries. You're not just the only person with a boundary. I keep saying that because I think a lot of times we as women go into relationships and we think that we're the only ones that need to be respected. That's not true. Men have feelings. They can be emotional too. And that's probably one of the reasons why men are less likely to be vulnerable, because those vulnerabilities aren't respected and they're looked at as being weak because they have those vulnerabilities and they don't trust you. And then you feel like you can cross that you can cross their boundaries because they're a man and they don't have feelings. It's just not true, ladies. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Woman of Worth podcast. I'm your podcast host, Tanisha Burks. If you haven't already, please take time to like, subscribe, follow, share the podcast, and rate and review the podcast as well. The podcast is available on all podcast platforms, and then it's also available for video on YouTube. We're going to jump right into our conversation. Again, we're focusing on dating with purpose. We're on week 2. Yes, I'm in the same shirt. I kind of do that sometimes when I'm doing series. And since we were talking about boundaries still, I feel like, okay, just be in the same shirt, girl. Okay, so might as get it done. Okay, get her done. This will be I'm gonna stop talking about time. That's one of the things I want to do. It is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Those of us that's gonna listen, we're gonna listen. And one thing that I learned is you can always speed up if the episodes become too long. You can speed up the rate at which the episode plays. And you can always pause and come back. I've done that before where I've listened to podcasts that were like an hour or so long and I had to pause and come back, child. So we're going to continue our conversation with boundaries, and then next week we're going to jump into knowing yourself. Listen, I can't wait for that. No, the one that I'm really looking forward to is defining what you want and not settling, and the fruits of the spirit. I'm really looking forward to that because I love the fruits of the spirit. All right. So last week we kind of talked about the different types of boundaries, where boundaries stem from. That sometimes boundaries can stem from trauma, different things like that from childhood, from past relationships. Um, we talked about physical boundaries, time boundaries. One of the things that I wanted to bring up that I did not bring up last week is when you're dealing with people who have boundaries due to I don't want to say mental illness, but boundaries due to things that have happened to them and they're trying to protect their mental health. You have to remember that you got to respect each other's boundaries. You're not just the only person with a boundary. I keep saying that because I think a lot of times we as women go into relationships and we think that we're the only ones that need to be respected. That's not true. Men have feelings. They can be emotional too. And that's probably one of the reasons why men are less likely to be vulnerable, because those vulnerabilities aren't respected and they're looked at as being weak because they have those vulnerabilities and they don't trust you. And then you feel like you can cross that you can cross their boundaries because they're a man and they don't have feelings. It's just not true, ladies. It's you have to respect a man, and I'm gonna tell you, respect for a man goes a way longer way than disrespecting him and nagging him and thinking that you can get your point across by being a witch with a capital B. You win more bees with honey. You want to attract a bee, you attract it with honey. You want to attract a good man that's going to respect you, that's going to respect your boundaries. You got to respect his. Once he sees that he is given that equal respect, he's not going to have no problem going out of his way and bending over backwards for you because you do the same thing for him. It's all about reciprocation. You gotta put out what you want to receive. The Bible talks about that. It's better to give than to receive. You treat people how you want to be treated. You love others as you love yourself. So I'm gonna say this: if you don't love yourself, you don't need to be in a relationship with nobody. You need to learn how to love yourself. And I'm gonna go even further to say that if you don't love yourself, there's no possible way that you could know God and that you could love God. Because if you knew God, then you would know how much He loves you. You will know how much He cares for you, how much He adores you. And when you know that, when you know that man got your back 10 toes down, when you know that God is standing with you and that God is standing for you and He will fight for you, it's just gonna trickle down right to yourself. I love myself because God loves me. And God, if God loves me, I'm worthy. And this is what I'm saying. I lost all of that in that relationship that I was in. Okay. I lost all of that because there was a part of me that blamed God for being in that relationship. And God was just like, girl, you did the picking out of the apple barrel. You picked the wrong fruit. You were Eve. You ate the forbidden fruit yourself. So now you mad at me because you kicked out of a paradise? No. You didn't love yourself. You this is what you saw that you deserved. So that's why you picked it. Because that's what you thought that you were worthy of. But I have a king for you, child. A king that's gone. Whew. Okay. I'm sorry. Anyway, that's all I'm saying is that when those boundaries come, you got to reciprocate the respect. When you love God, that's going to trickle down into loving yourself. And when you love yourself, it's going to be easy for you to give some love away because you already know that what you pour out, God's going to pour back into you. Ooh, preach, preach. Ooh. So, ladies, I want to talk about this because I think it's important. A lot of times when a man is upset, like say you're married and your husband comes home and he's had a rough day at work and he don't want to talk about it. You know, you can sense when he come in the house, okay, something is off about Rob. Okay, let's just say his name's Rob. Something's off with Rob. Um, a man has to process his emotions before he can actually come and sit and talk to you about it, okay? For us as women, our way of processing is to talk. We just gonna we gonna talk. But for a man, he has to sit in that and he has to look at everything. What caused it? What did I do? What could I have done better? Was this my mistake? Was it the other person? He's going to process all of that, right? And then when he's processed all of that, he's going to work through it. He going to woosah it out. And then he's going to come and talk to you when he's ready. And most of the time, it's to see, first of all, if you're a good woman, is to see if he's on the right track with his thinking, whatever he's thinking. If he thinks that the issue that happened is because of him and it's something that he could have did to change it, he wants to see if you agree with that. And if you do agree with that, well, this is what I thought I could do to change it. What do you think? And it's not so much for you to think about a man who doesn't have a job and he's looking for a job and he can't get a job. He just wants your he wants your support, right? He don't want you to find a job for him. He don't care that you got an uncle that has a grass cutting company that he could work for. He don't want you to go talk to him. He just wants you to have his back. He just want to make sure that you got the bills for him for just a little while he figures it out. Now, you can suggest your uncle's business, but that don't mean go and tell your uncle to give him a job. Okay? Have his back. Pray for him. Cover him. That's what he needs. So when this man is upset, that's not the time for you to be going and saying, well, what's wrong? Tell me. Talk to me about it. And then get upset when he says, I just don't want to talk about it. Okay. I understand. When you're ready, I'm here. If and when you're ready to talk about it, I'm here. But don't be all like, when he ready to talk about it, now you mad because he didn't want to talk when you wanted to talk about it. It's not your problem. It's not your issue. So you can't make him talk about something that's not yours. You get what I'm saying? When he's ready to talk about his issue with his wife, or whatever happened, not that you the issue, but when he's ready to talk about whatever's going on with his wife, with you, his wife, he will. Until then, you just make sure you're supporting him emotionally by reminding him of how much you love him, how much you appreciate him, and not like in his face like, well, I just want you to know I appreciate you, I love you so much. No, there's just little things you can do. You know how you show him you love him and appreciate him? You make sure that dinner is ready. You make sure it's hot, and you make sure you give him some space. Where the space means he's sitting down and watching the game and drinking a Corona or a Heineken, or smoking a cigar, or sitting in the back grilling. You make sure you give him that space. And you take him his Heineken and his Corona and his soda, whatever he drink, or his water, and then you go about your business and watch the TV. And when he's ready, he's gonna come talk to you. And if he don't come talk to you, then don't feel like, it's the biggest crime in the world. He must have figured it out. Okay, well, if he come and he talking to you and about something else a couple of days later, don't be bringing up, well, you came home the other day. What was wrong? He'll tell you if he needs to. Okay, so respect that boundary. Don't be stonewalling and acting like, well, since you didn't want to talk to me, I'm not talking to you now. Oh, now you want to talk to me. Oh, but you didn't want to talk to me the other day. Girl, bye. Sit down. Okay. Um, so I wanted to talk about that. You got to create a safe space for our men. Okay. We want them to create a secure space for us, be a safe space for them. Be a safe space where they can feel safe enough to be your security. Okay. And then don't yell at him just like you don't want to be yelled at. Because I talked about that last week about don't yell at me. Also don't yell at him. Also don't be nagging him. Like his mama lived where she live at. He married a wife for a different reason. If he want to be nagged, he go to his mama. He go talk to his grandma. He don't want to come home to a nagged wife. He lived with that for however many years before you. He don't want that. We ladies, we talk entirely too much. We do. And y'all know we do. I know I do. I'm doing it now. I'm talking now. I think I told y'all last week I was funny. I do jokes. So anyway, let's talk about maintaining boundaries. That was just, I don't know what that was. The Holy Spirit talks. Words of wisdom from the Holy Spirit. Okay. It's something definitely that I was learning. And I'm still learning. Oh, my husband, he gonna have a good wife this time around. Baby, when he gonna be like, dude, my wife is like the bomb. She pretty. She can cook. She can work on the cleaning. But hands down, listen, I'm not losing. I'm not going, I'm not risking nothing. Okay. My husband is going to be like that man that's like, I ain't looking at nothing else because I got the best thing going at home. I can't wait to get home. That's I don't want my husband being like, ugh, I gotta go home to Tanisha. Tanisha. Yeah, I don't. You got some extra work for me, boss. I'm not in no. I don't want that. I want my husband to be like, don't give me no more work, cause I got to get home to my wife. And he gonna be like that. He's going to be like he gonna have a good wife. Okay, a good wife. All right. So then let's talk about maintaining boundaries. First of all, you got to communicate your boundaries. You can't just assume that somebody knows your boundaries. Uh you just can't assume that he knows that you don't like to be touched because you didn't tell him. You didn't explain to him anything that happened to you. He don't know. You can't assume this man knows your trauma. He don't know. You can't assume that he don't know that leaving his socks on the floor, y'all, that's my pet peeve. And the funny thing is, I do it. But I get on my own nerves. So it's okay. But you can't assume that this man just know that you don't like socks on the floor. Like he saw your socks on the floor when he would come over, so he figured it probably wouldn't be a big deal if he added two more socks on the floor. Okay, you can't assume that. Communicate your boundaries, and when a boundary has been crossed before you communicated it, talk without offense. Don't talk in an offensive manner where you want to offend him. Offending someone does not make them want to respect you. It makes them mad, and it makes them want to disrespect you in the same way. So when you have been offended, you sit down and you calm down and you think about your words before you present the offense to them, so that you in return don't offend the person that's offended you, but instead you're working out the offense together. Okay? Be consistent. Be consistent. Be consistent. Be consistent. Be consistent. Don't let a boundary get crossed. Okay? One that you communicated. Don't let it be crossed and not say nothing and then just go on and expect every other boundary to be okay. Because once the boundary is crossed, especially them small ones, once the boundary is crossed, it's called the foot in the door. In communications, we learned this. It's called the foot in the door, where a person will ask you for something small. Hey, oh, my job has this bad. Hey, can you work on uh this floor from 12 to 3 tomorrow? Oh, okay, sure. Tomorrow comes, oh, actually, can you just stay down there your whole shift? Uh, no, because that's not what I agreed to. I said 12 to 3, I'll be down at 12. No, you're not crossing the boundary. Period. And I have a right to say no. I do. I don't care what my position is. She says no. So do not let that foot in the door boundary cross be unattended to. You say something, you mean what you say. Look, I told you before, don't just come up here grabbing me on my body parts. I told you, mentally stimulate me, put your hand on my shoulder, touch my face, let me know it's coming. But you did it anyway. Don't let it happen again. This is the boundary for me. Communicate that, but don't just, when you do it, just be like, okay. Because then the next thing he gonna do is he gonna come in and just throw you on the bed and just start doing stuff. And then you're gonna feel like you did when you were violated. And it's because you let a boundary get crossed, and now he's crossing bigger boundaries. So do y'all know that the small boundary crossing is the open door invitation to larger boundaries being crossed? I'm trying to tell y'all what I know. It's human psychology. And if I'm wrong, somebody put it in the comments that I'm wrong. But I can guarantee you, once the small boundary is crossed, we working our way on up. You do it, right? Once I spend $5 of your credit card and you haven't said anything to me about that $5, eh, 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 we're going 10% higher. Let's do 50. Oh, you didn't say nothing with that? Okay. Let's go a little bit more. I'm gonna do 150 this time. Once it's crossed, small, it gets bigger. Let's talk about boundaries for dating. These are boundaries that we should have. These are suggestions. These are boundaries that we have, especially the first date. You know, because a lot of times with the way dating is going now, because men are kind of trying to move fast because they're trying to get the panties. Let's just talk about it. Let's just be honest. Okay, I had a person tell me when I was talking to him, I wish I'd known you longer. Why? Because you trying to do something. No, sir. I don't know you. I just met you. I don't care if we just talked on the phone for 6 hours. I don't know you. Please. So they're moving kind of fast. They meet you. They talk to you on the phone for 6 hours. They plan the date. And you think I'm finna kiss you on the first date? Bro, I don't know where your lips been. My chart. Let me pull up your my chart. Pull it up. Let me see. You got mono? You ever had mono? Ooh, let me see. You smoke, so your breath probably stink. Your lips are black, so you probably smoke weed and you just haven't told me. That's a boundary. I don't want a smoker of cigarettes, weed, none of that. Okay? So no kissing on the first date. Kiss them words. Talk. Communicate. Okay? Money long. Let's have a conversation. Can't we have a conversation? And we can't converse if your lips is tied on mine. Okay? Also, I'm not paying on the first date. Don't come with this half and half bill. This, you know what, I will pay on the first date. And it'll be the last. Boundary. But I don't think that's something that we should have to even communicate as women. Because women, we shouldn't even be asking on the first date. Now, if we didn't went on 2 or 3 dates and you to pay, and now I'm asking you to go somewhere, okay, I'm gonna pay. Because it's only right. Okay. It at some point, when you're married, at some point you gotta foot a bill. Okay, you can't just expect him to do everything wonderful. If he does, wonderful. But you want to pull your weight in the marriage too. Okay, some type of way. You may not have to pay the big bills, but pay the car insurance, pay the telephone bill, pay the Hulu bill. The little stuff. You can take care of the rent of the car note. You take care of the We Energies it's We Energies here in Wisconsin. You take care of the electric bill and the cable bill. He take the big bills. All right. For some people, it's no Applebee's or no Olive Gardens. Let me tell you why I don't do restaurants on the first date. Because I'm eating, and because I'm probably going to be done eating before you, and it's probably a little bit embarrassing. Okay. And I don't want to go to the movies because it's dark. I want to go somewhere where we can be interactive, so I can see. I like to work out. Uh, yeah, I do. I'm a gym rat. I like to be physical. Like I like to do stuff. I want to get out of the house. I've done restaurants in my single life. I've done movies in my single life. I go to the movies by myself in a heartbeat. So I want to do something with you that I don't normally do. Let's go rock climbing. Let's I want to say jump out of a plane. Not yet. Let's go zip lining. Still got to lose a little bit of weight for that. But let's do something interactive. Let's go on a walk somewhere. Y'all excuse my face. I can't believe I said that. But I mean, I'll go on a walk, but we just got to make sure it's benches around so I can sit down because yeah, most of my walking is done on a treadmill. So if we're gonna walk somewhere where we have to actually walk back to the destination where we started, we're gonna have to have some benches and some water, and it's gonna have to be a semi warm/cool day, not cold, but like 70 degrees, maybe 65, and probably the distance is probably less than a mile, like half a mile. But I want to do something. Let's go sit and watch the lake. Let's go sit in a gazebo and look at flowers or something, or pick flowers. Let's go apple picking. Let's let's go. I don't know. I don't want to go to the movies. I don't want to go to restaurants. So no, that's not a first date for me. That's more of that's what old people that's been together for years do. They go out to eat. We just met each other. We were trying to get to know each other. Let's do something where we actually have to talk and not get stuck in between chewing food and waiters coming and interrupting us and asking us stuff when we trying to have a deep conversation and we forgetting what we have to say, because the sister will forget in a heartbeat what she was saying when it's been interrupted. That's why a lot of people interrupt me when I talk, because they notice that. And so what I do is I keep on talking, because don't interrupt me. Okay. Um, let's say no touching on the first day. And when I say no touching, I mean like the grabbing of the body parts and stuff like that. Like, don't be trying to, rub up on me and stuff like that. Like, you could probably hold my hand. Uh, don't put your hand on my leg. Don't put your hand on my butt. Don't touch the nape of my back. Don't do none of that. Okay. You can kiss my hand. Don't be trying to kiss my forehead and all of that on the first date. No. Okay. Don't talk to me about sex at all for the first few months. Okay. Don't be trying to give little hints and clues and signs. I want to get to know you. I don't care if I've known you for 15 years. I don't know you as a person that I'm dating. I know you as a person that I've known that's been my friend. So no, I don't want to talk about any sexual activity. I want to get to know you so I can know if I even like you. Because I might just like you as a friend and you might not be what I like as a person that I want to date. Period. Like, also, you've been my friend for 15 years, but do you know how many brothers I have? Know how many sisters I have? Do you know what my middle name is? Do you know anything about me? Do you know where I work? Do you know what my mama name is? Do you know what my daddy name is? Do you know what my daddy does for a living? Do you know what my mama does for a living? Do you know what my sisters and brothers do for a living? Do you know anything about me besides what you want to do to me in the bedroom? Do you know? All right? So then set your boundaries and stick to them. Again, boundaries are for you to know how far you will go before you start to feel unsafe. All right? Next week, ladies and gentlemen, if you are here, we are going to talk about knowing yourself. That's going to we're going to talk about what does it mean to know yourself, and we're going to talk about the 7 I am statements of Jesus, because Jesus knew who he was. He knew what he was here to do. Do you know who you are? Do you know your purpose? Because when you know your purpose, you're going to tend to go in those areas where your purpose is realized, and that's where you're going to attract the person whose purpose aligns with yours, and that's how you're going to be able to pick the right person for you. Remember, God does not pick our spouse for us. We pick, because when that marriage doesn't work, do you gonna blame God? Because, well, this is what you sent me. No, that's what you picked, daughter. I'm telling you, it sounded like I had this conversation with God, right? No, I didn't send you that, Tanisha. I had no parts of that. I just agreed with what you was doing, but I did not pick that for you. You picked, daughter. So now let me place you around the type of people that have your purpose, and now you can pick better. Now that you have and nothing's a mistake. Everything that happened to me, I learned. So now that I learned, now you can pick right. Now your picker's not off anymore. I fixed your picker. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you next week. You have a blessed and wonderful day. Until next time, see you soon. God bless.